I often go on business trips by train. I have never seen anything mystical or supernatural in trains. But after one horrible incident, I became afraid to travel. I was going to one small town. It was a night train. I got on it in the first hour. Nothing unusual in the beginning. I quietly went into a sleeping compartment, spread things on my top shelf, hung clothes on a coat rack. I waited for the departure. I tried not to make any noise so as not to wake people up. The compartment is full. I tried not to make any noise so as not to wake up people in the full compartment. Finally, the train jerked and let's go. When I returned to the compartment and closed the door behind me, I saw that all its inhabitants were awake. Man, woman and a girl of about 9 sitting on the lower shelves next to the table, heads turned away from me, looking out the window where the night lights flashed on the train. I apologized. I thought that, after all, his fidgeting woke them up. I know how unpleasant it is when a noisy passenger bursts in the middle of the night. By the way, the light in the compartment is off. Only the glow from the lanterns through the window penetrates inside. We sit like this for 5 minutes. I would be happy to go to bed, but fear takes over me more and more. I can feel that I do not have enough air. Because all the time my compartment neighbors didn't move or turn their heads toward me. It's creepy to sit in the dark like this. They just seemed like motionless mannequins. And then I began to realize that the sounds in the compartment were deafening. The wheels on the joints of the rails become more and more muffled, as if my ears were filled with cotton. The feeling is not realistic at all. It began to feel like there was no one on the train, but me and the 3 of us. And we're hurtling along in the middle of nowhere. How far away are you going? I dared to ask the man to dispel the oppressive silence. Suddenly they all turned their heads toward me, and I cringed in terror at the wall of the compartment. The faces of my passengers were blue. My eyes glowed yellow. And I see that they're not breathing at all. It's not your compartment, said the man. And he didn't say it, he kind of wheezed with effort. Get out of here. And though I saw my stuff on the top shelf, I didn't have to beg. I opened the door with a jerk, jumped out into the corridor, and slammed the door. Only then I realized how warm it was in the train compared to my compartment. And the sounds became louder, as if the volume was turned up on the remote control. I ran to the conductor. I told her about everything, though I knew that my story was similar to delirium. There's nobody in your compartment, she answers me. But when I described my neighbors, the conductor changed her face. I see, she must have remembered such passengers. We went to the compartment together with her. She stood for a long time, not daring to open the door. And I did not hurry, I did not want to see that man anymore. At last she opened the door with a jerk. We looked inside, but it was empty. And only my things were lying there. My neighbors disappeared. The conductor scolded me for such a prank. But I see her shaking with fear. I know I wasn't dreaming. She knows something about my fellow passengers. I decided to enter the compartment only when we arrived in town. So in the corridor and stood all night.
Thank you for watching and supporting me. Subscribe to the channel, there will be many more interesting things.